Thank you so much for purchasing my book, Let's Grow Some Muscle. This is a chest routine. Like all the routines in my program, these are routines I made for myself and have tweaked over time. The workout I'm about to show you is the outcome, and I'm very excited to show you this one because chest has always been a weak point for me. It's one of my genetic weak points. Part of the reason also is because my shoulders have always been very dominant. They take over in chest movements. It took me a long time to figure out how to train chest correctly. In this routine, there's a lot of really cool things. We're gonna start with this warm up first. Tricep push downs with some bands, light. Just do like 20 reps, move on to banded over under stretch, really get the shoulders and the chest stretched out. Move to something like plate halos, or if you have one, a shoulder rock or mace swings, just kind of moving through. This is just to loosen up the shoulders. Whatever you do to warm up for chest and shoulder workouts or any push workout, just do that. If you have something that works, go ahead and do it. These are just some of the quick things that I would recommend. Move on to dumbbell flat press. So that's gonna be the first exercise, and we're gonna work up to a top set, which means we're gonna go all out. AMRAP, super hard, 8 to 10 reps, blast it, and it has to be so heavy that if you try to do it again, you wouldn't even get half that many reps. That's gonna be the start of the workout, and then we're gonna move on to chest fly with rings. So we're gonna really prime the nervous system here and really get a lot of the strength component in the nervous system just really firing before we move on to the hypertrophy movements. So let's go ahead and move to the dumbbell flat press. I'm gonna give you some tips on that, and we're gonna work up to a top set. I'm going to be working up to 150-pound dumbbells for a set of 10. I'm starting out with 25-pound dumbbells, so I start out with something very light. I'm actually going to be doing 7 warm-up sets. So during the warm-up, I move through different ranges of motion with the lighter weights before I start increasing the weight, and this is just to kind of open up my shoulders and get a good feel for it. Just kind of play around with it. This is also part of the warm-up, so we're still kind of in warm-up mode right now. I've increased the weight to 45-pound dumbbells, and I'm starting to work more with the actual motion. You notice I am not pressing to full extension. That is because I'm trying to keep tension on my chest. Try to keep a good arch on your back and keep your chest high. Root your feet on the floor. These are 70-pound dumbbells, and again, I'm still kind of playing with it and getting a good stretch. As I go up in weight, I will begin using less reps for my warm-up sets. So in the beginning, I might be doing like warm-up sets with 10 to 20 reps. At this point, I'm up to the 110-pound dumbbells, and I've already thrown on my belt and my cuffs and my wraps. This is maxing out. I'm about to max out on a compound lift. A dumbbell flat press is a compound lift, but my dumbbells don't go high enough for me to max, and the goal here isn't a 1-rep max. It is an AMRAP. After that top set of dumbbell chest flies, you're going to take 5 minutes, rest, catch your breath, and then you're going to set up your next station, which is either rings or a TRX strap system of some sort. And we're going to do 4 sets of increasing difficulty. So in your first set, you are just going to do a couple reps, kind of get the feel of it. Don't go full range of motion and just stop. So it's kind of like a warm-up set. And then your next couple sets, you're just going to add a few more reps, add a little bit more range of motion. Not going to failure on any of these, all right? Just the second set should feel pretty easy. Get your confidence up, go a little bit faster. Your third set is going to be even better. And your fourth set, you're going to get pretty close to failure. I'd say like 2, 3, 4 reps shy of it. If you have to add some body weight with like a vest system or something, you can do that if you're really strong. But key things when doing this exercise is make sure your shoulder and your hand are in line. Hollow body position, so kind of round it out. Keep everything tight from your quads all the way up to your core. So it is a full body exercise. And then just really, feel the chest on this as much as you can. Make that mind-muscle connection, because connecting it to the next exercise, which is a machine fly, you're basically doing an extremely difficult full body version of a fly, and we're going to be moving to an isolation version after this, and this is going to prime for that. That's why we're not going to failure. That's why we're not like going all out war on this. Our nervous system is going to be awesome when we get to the isolation exercises. So the next exercise is a machine fly over here. I prefer a machine fly for chest flies. Dumbbell flies are the worst. Don't do them. And the dual cable stack flies, they're fun sometimes, but I have a hard time reaching failure on it, or definite failure. On this one, I definitely know when I reach failure, and I like that, and it gives me the most consistent pump. So when you do this, after you do everything else, you're gonna be a lot stronger than usual. It's like a little magic trick we just performed. So go ahead and increase the weight. We're gonna do sets of 10 to 12 to failure, 3 sets with a 3-minute and 30-second rest period between them. So go ahead and get going. These are strong, right? So when you do them strong, don't be lazy. We just got done doing some really intense body weight chest flies. Now we're gonna take it to this, and you're gonna see you're gonna be a lot stronger than you've ever been on this machine. Oh yeah. That's a full stack, by the way. That's 300 pounds. There we go. So we do that and really focus on that chest, isolating it, get a good stretch back here. You don't need to go too far. I usually stop at about halfway on the pin setting. You don't need to do this. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. It really didn't do my shoulders any favors. So I'll bring it up to there a little bit. After you're done with the chest flies, you're going to move on to a plate-loaded lever press variation. So what I mean by plate-loaded is literally plates are on it, and lever, this is a lever. So they make incline, flat, decline. I want you to choose a flat or an incline. Find one that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, play around with your shoulder angle and your elbow positioning. Sometimes all it takes is just widening things up, or just kind of like putting a little bit more arch into it, or kind of like scooching your back up and down a pad, and you can make a bat machine good just by doing those things. Find a good position that really isolates the chest, and then what you're going to want to do is find some really heavy bands, or average bands at least, not light bands, and you're going to attach those to the lever press machine somehow. So what we're going to do is make it harder at the top to really get that peak chest contraction. I don't really care about your grip. If you have a grip option, you can do neutral or whatever, but just get on it. You're gonna do like a set of at least 10, no more than 20 reps. So you wanna find your resistance somewhere around there. Possible, get a good stretch to the bottom, not so much that it hurts your shoulder, but enough to where the chest has a good pull on it. Keep constant tension on the chest if possible. There we go. 3-minute and 30-second rest period. I'm sure you're surprised by now by that number, the magic number. In between these sets, I want you to superset with the banded over-under stretch we started this workout with in our warm-up. So right after you finish, just get off the machine and just stand up and get these over-unders in. And what that's going to do is really add a stretch in a key time during chest training, which is right after a set or even within a set. Getting a stretch, all that tension and a stretch combined is just magic for muscle growth. So there's a lot of research and science behind it. There's a lot of training methods that incorporate stretches in your hypertrophy training. This is just one way of adding it without actually putting it into the set itself, is to do it right after the set in a superset. Okay, the last exercise in this routine is a decline press of some sort. Now, a dip does kind of count as a decline press because you're kind of pressing down, right? if you're decline pressing. So you have a couple options. One is you find a lever, plate-loaded lever press machine that is a decline. You can also use a Smith machine just as long as the bench is on a decline. Or you can do wide chest dips. So I would prefer you to find a dip station that is angled. If it's not angled, do the best you can with something that's parallel, but you want to shoot your legs back and lean forward. So these aren't like gymnast dips. These are bodybuilding, chest building dips. You also don't need to come to the top, okay? So internet form police are gonna get mad if you do dips like this, right? But we're not trying to work the tricep, we're trying to work the chest. We're trying to keep constant tension on the chest. So the two things in this dip motion that's gonna help you the most with that is one, getting a good stretch down here, and two, going up so far as the chest has tension on it before there is a small break, and that's when there's full extension. So you're gonna do 2 sets to failure. Again, take your time on your rest period. 3 minutes, 30 seconds is a good number. Do the same thing if you're also gonna be doing a decline press variation. So 2 sets to failure. Typically, you're gonna probably be doing between 10 and 20 reps. So let's go. After everything else, you probably won't have much left in you, but that's kind of the point. That's the end of the workout. I hope you enjoyed it. One thing I want you to notice that in the creation of this workout, one thing that happened after we got to the hypertrophy portion of it is basically everything is kind of like a fly motion, if you notice that. Like, I believe that all the best chest exercise variations are in some way, shape, or form a kind of high tension fly. So even like the lever press, like levers allow you to track through a pathway that is kind of like a fly, you know, to really hit the chest. This fixed barbell bench press crap, that is not gonna build your chest as much as these isolation exercises, okay? These lever press fly variations. So that's why we started with some really heavy flies, went super heavy on flies. It's something no one usually does or thinks to do. And then we moved on to the lever press variations, even the bands. We're really throwing a lot of tricks into this. One thing that we didn't do was a challenge set. So if you were to incorporate a challenge set into this workout, what I would do is I would add one more set of machine chest flies and do like a terrible drop set. Just start dropping, do 2 or 3 drops. Really focus on keeping high tension, even iso holds, if you really wanted to push it to the next level. So other than that, you can add reps, add weight. One thing I wouldn't do is decrease the rest period because we want to be strong. Thank you for purchasing the program again, and check out below. There are time codes, as I mentioned, for you to reference during your next workout. If you have questions, email me. Thank you.